everyone, welcome to
IDAHoBIT 2021.
Together,
Resisting.
Supporting.
Healing.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Taher. People call me Mo. I work for Merseycare. I basically work with the people seeking asylum and refugees who've had a trauma or have got mental health problems. And I've been working with the Many Hands One Heart from the start with Sahir House. And here is Arthur Brisbane.
Thank you, Mo. Hello, everyone at home. I'm Britney, and I'm so happy to be with you today, celebrating the IDAHoBIT 2021.
Hobbits? What do you mean by hobbits?
IDAHoBIT, Mo.
Oh, what does that stand for?
So, it stands for International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, Transphobia, and intersectionalism.
Oh my God, do you know what? I'll tell you something about that. It used to be called Idaho about 3 or 4 years ago. So the rest was added to it years after.
Yeah, we are trying to be more inclusive right now because this fight is to everyone else. So we know also stands for people that are non-binary like me. So we are getting bigger in love. So I'm so happy with this.
Our next introduction is Shireen, and I just wanted to tell you something about Shireen. I'm from Iran, and we speak Farsi. And do you know what this Shireen means in Farsi?
Huh?
It means sweet. So she's a sweetheart.
Oh, she's actually a sweetheart. I love her so much. So I'm not gonna spoil much. So we're going next to Shireen. She's from Many Hands One Heart, and she's gonna have an important message from our asylum seekers and refugee supportive network. So come and check it.
Hello, sweetheart.
hi everyone. Thank you for that absolutely lovely introduction, Mo and Brittany. So yeah, my name is Shireen Cowley and I work for Sahir House. So I am an advocacy and asylum case worker. Sahir House is a charity in Merseyside which has been offering HIV support, prevention, information and training since 1985. As part of my role at Sahir House, I facilitate Many Hands One Heart, which is an LGBTIQ+ peer support group for refugees and asylum seekers. Many Hands One Heart is currently the only LGBT+ support group for asylum seekers and refugees in Merseyside. So this plays a vital role in offering a safe and supportive, confidential meeting space to enable people to meet, talk to one another and receive information, advice and support. Not just from professionals and other services, but most importantly from each other. This network is led by Sahir House and supported by Merseycare, the Emstead Centre and Heart of Glass. Our organisations are working together to enable and empower Many Hands One Heart members to become more confident in themselves, less isolated in their communities, and more knowledgeable about the UK and the asylum process. So, what is IDAHoBIT? As previously mentioned, IDAHoBIT stands for the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, Intersexism and Transphobia. This year's powerful theme is Together, Resisting, Supporting and Healing. The IDAHoBIT initiative was first created in 2004 to bring attention to the ongoing violence towards the LGBTQ+ community, and May the 17th became the designated day due to the World Health Organization's decision to declassify homosexuality as a mental health disorder in 1990. This event is celebrated in over 130 countries worldwide. So, why is IDAHoBIT important? It marks a global responsibility to reduce inequality for the LGBTIQ+ people and for them to be treated with respect and dignity no matter where they are from in the world. Many Hands One Heart does a lot to represent this, as it aims to empower marginalised identities, and IDAHoBIT is the perfect platform to enable a voice to the sometimes voiceless. For many people, belonging to a group like Many Hands One Heart offers them a taste of freedom they've never experienced before. It is sometimes the first time they may have met someone else that is gay, and especially from the same country as them. This can be a really poignant moment, as sometimes someone will join the group and they may be really shy and they're very quiet and they don't really engage. And then throughout time, you will just see the confidence grow and grow, and they will meet up and speak with other people outside the group, make a new group of friends, and you'll see them really begin to enjoy their life as an out gay person. Peer support groups are really essential for this and helping to break down internalised stigma and homophobia that people often carry. Often when someone is dispersed by the Home Office, they are accommodated with a mix of other people seeking asylum from countries where homosexuality is criminalised. This can really lead to people often being ostracised within the asylum community here in the UK. This can lead to further isolation and forcing that person really to never reveal their sexuality or the gender identity, which can really affect someone's really ability to receive help and support, and it really creates a barrier. It's well documented that LGBTI asylum seekers and refugees experience higher levels of mental illness, and this is even known as multiple minority stress. Many Hands One Heart helps to reduce this and the isolation, which has been particularly important for us remaining active this year, when more people than ever before have experienced the effect of isolation. Really there are many parallels that can be drawn and lessons that can be learned from such a hard and strange year of coronavirus and how it has impacted on our most vulnerable in society. With the Home Office introducing controversial new changes to immigration policy, this can make it even harder for people that are fleeing persecution to claim asylum here in the UK. That is why it is also more important than ever before that we refuse the hostile environment here in Merseyside and continue to vocalise a message to our friends in the LGBTI community simply of love, not hate. Many Hands One Heart and our partner organisations continue to advocate, support and campaign for the rights of our LGBTI asylum seekers and refugees. Sahir House is very proud to have recently reviewed its charitable aims and reflect the growing needs of people who are LGBTI+ experiencing discrimination based on their race, nationality, immigration status or any protected characteristic between these affected groups and communities. If you would like any more information about our work, please email info@sahir.uk.com, and please, if you can and are able to, please don't forget to donate. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the show.
In Malaysia, I was a businessman. I got married, was a forced marriage, and I got 2 children. And finally, my wife found me out that I'm gay, so she left me. In Malaysia, if you're LGBT, they will put you in prison for 14 years to 20 years. I left my country because when my wife took my money away, I was running a business and I couldn't do my business, and I borrowed money from the loan shark. Well, that's horrible. They attacked me so many times and they beat me, and I think I have hidden my stick on my forehead, and I have 4 stabs on my body. So I was admitted to hospital. When I arrived in UK, then after that they put me in a detention for 10 months without releasing my ID. They discharged me from the detention center. So I live in Liverpool nearly 3 years now. So I get to know the LGBT from my church. Then I feel it's safe, that's why I come openly as a gay man now. Just the Home Office still don't trust me that I'm gay because he said you don't have a partner. My case was refused 7 times. I went to London in the High Court for a Joestar review. The judge refused me because he said you don't have a partner. If you're gay, you have to produce that you're a partner. So I said I don't have. So frustrated because I was gay during my school day. I already told them in my statement. When I was 12 years old, I have a boyfriend in school. And when I was in UK, I also have a boyfriend. But he was sent back to China, so I have no other choice. So at my age, as a Guardian paper was writing a very good statement for me, With my age, 67, it's so hard to get a gay partner, but the judge still don't believe me, so I have to reapply, appeal again.
That was lovely about Sam. You know, I just love Sam. As he gets older, he gets cuter and more handsome.
He's a really nice guy. I know him from Many Hands One Heart group. So, as I said before, Mo, I am a non-binary person. So this means my pronouns are they, them. But in some cases, depending if you are my friend or someone else, sometimes I take different pronouns. There are some friends that refers at me with the she. There are other ones that refers with the he, because I'm gender fluid. So in my particular case, I take any of these pronouns. But remember this at home, you always should ask people about their pronouns.
Yeah, one thing I have to tell you about the pronouns. In Iran, we got one pronoun for he, she, and they. So lots of times I get pronoun wrong. So if you are non-binary and you're talking to an Iranian and they make a mistake, please forgive them and be patient with them. They will get it right in the end.
Right, but it's still nice that you just have one pronoun, because I feel more identified with that. But so to talk about the trans reality, what do you think if we go to our next speaker?
Absolutely great.
So we have now from Trans Health Merseycare, Kat Charters and Imogen.
So thanks very much for that introduction. I cannot say how happy I am to be part of this process and part of the day and part of the stream. I really look forward to hearing that from everybody else. My name's Kat Charters and I've been asked to speak on behalf of Trans Health Merseycare Project. And we have the section of today around healing, so that's kind of what we've been asked to chat to. So Trans Health Merseycare Project at this current moment in time meets monthly, and we are working with various other groups and collaborations, and we work closely with See Magic, work closely with Trust Merseyside, we work very closely with various other people around the community to enable people to have the confidence and have the creativity to address any kind of hate crime that they may have against them. And learning from other people in a peer group setting can really enhance how you might consider what is a hate crime. Some people don't actually really realise that some abuse might be considered to be hate, or that they could report that in some way or another. So initially, when we were funded back in 2016, we had a remit around hate crime and encouraging people to understand what that was and how to report and where to report it. And that still continues. And at the time, I'm going to introduce my good friend and colleague, Imogen Christie. And Imogen was one of our first peers who we kind of supported in a peer mentoring training. So we've grown, as has lots of other services across the city, which is great to see. So the community has grown and the connection between people has grown as well. And I really truly believe, I was kind of walking here today thinking about what I want to say. And I just kind of think that by providing some safe spaces where people can connect, where people can gain confidence, and where they can get creative, working together with the people who attend the group themselves, and then working collaboratively with other people around the city, particularly in Trust, with whom we are in partnership, around See Magic and around Transport Service, LCR Pride, and all the other people who I'm sure are on this call and will be live streamed, and so you'll hear more. It builds people's ability. I was thinking about healing actually. I was really thinking about that, and I was like, healing can mean lots of to different people, so I maybe will let Imogen speak to how maybe attending the groups and being part of the project has healed her in some way, but I kind of think sometimes that word can suggest that people are broken, and I don't think anybody's broken. I think everybody's got everything they need, they just need the encouragement to see that, or the eyes to see, or the self-awareness, or the reflection from other people within a group that you have got that strength and that you are on a path to healing. So that sounds a bit weird because I'm a wellbeing practitioner, so I'm all about healing. But as I've done healing work for so long, and my premise is we work from worst to honest, and they're really not broken in any way. But we can build, we can absolutely build. And that's what the Transcend Mersey project is all about. It's about building up people, building up community, building up networks, and building visibility for trans people and non-binary people across the community. And that's particularly around health inequalities, because people will have obstacles that they come up against around health service provision. And that's a focus that we've had most recently over the past few years. So we meet monthly. At this moment we meet in the afternoons on the third Tuesday of each month. I really welcome anyone to come on who identifies under the trans umbrella or non-binary or intersex, and you can find my contact details below. So thank you very much, and I'd like to hand over to Imogen.
Hi everyone, my name's Imogen Christie. I'm a local trans activist and I've worked on several projects over the past few years. But today I'd like to talk a little about a couple of things actually. And firstly I'd like to talk about my experience as a service user of Trans Health Merseyside. And I think firstly I'd like to say how important that's been for me on a very personal level in terms of the support I've had from within this organisation itself, the partner organisations and the constituent members of the group. So I'd like to kind of say that one of the first things that got said to me when I came here was three little words. And it makes me emotional even to this day, thinking about it. And these three little words were, I see you. And that still rings very true to me today, and it still rings very emotional for me today. But that's hugely important because the day that we're celebrating today is also very joyous, although we're dealing with complex issues. But returning to my role within the group as sort of a peer mentor and a constituent member, I think what it does provide a pathway of support from each other to break down the barriers of perhaps reporting some of the homophobia or transphobia or biphobia that I would say most of us have experienced. It also gives us a pathway about how they can be reported, and if there's barriers, say for example, where talking to me as a police locally, there is Stop Hate UK. So, but within the group and the peer support within the group, there's a spark of resilience that feeds to each other. There's a connectivity and a shared experience that feeds to each other. And from that connectivity, we do get that segue to support and healing and understanding and shared experience. So, as I suppose one of the veteran members of the group these days, well, it's lovely to see the group grow in size, well, it's lovely to see the group grow in diversity and representation and age. There's also a reflection in a wider society. As we become more visible, we somehow become more vulnerable to these attacks. So the connectivity to each other becomes, it becomes of paramount importance. It becomes the building blocks, senses of self that we reflect back to each other. And I think that's hugely important. And I think it's hugely important the way the group is grown to include that diversity of trans non-binary and intersex genders. So that's been a little bit about what the group means to me and my journey within that group and the personal support that I've had and is still ongoing. But I'd like to return a little bit back to the joyous part of the day. I've as a participant, as a contributor, I've been to in the past 3 or 4 years. I've been to these events, and you know, it's as emotional as I was at the start. I'm emotional again, but at a different emotion. You know, I remember sitting when we had the event in the Casa 4 years ago, I think it might be now, 3 years ago, and it was one of the most joyous LGBT plus events that I've been privileged to be there and witness. So it kind of makes me, in my own thinking, link everything together there. We are under attack from a wider society at times. We are growing in numbers in terms of visibility, but we're also growing in strength and connectivity. And please don't think that our whole life experiences are wrapped up in some kind of phobia, whether it's trans, bi, or homophobia. We do experience these things, and we need to keep the challenge to reduce them. But we do also share some joyous experiences as well.
So thank you. Coming back to you, and hope to see everybody along the line of the stream. I'm really looking forward to seeing the other presentations, and as Imogen said, you know, it's just like, please come along to the group if it speaks to you. You need to contact me. The contact details below, and I look forward to seeing you all at some point, and thank you for inviting us to join the day.
Thank you very much, guys. What do we have now, Britney?
Right now we got actually a friend of mine. She's from Guatemala and her name is Sahir Hilton. And you know what, Mo? Actually, I got an interview with her. We talked about her acting because she is a performer. So you can find information here if you want to have a look of that. So, coming from Guatemala, international artist, you see you at home, Sahir Hilton.
Hello everybody, my name is Sahir Hilton. I come from Guatemala and this is a traditional dress of Guatemala Maya woman. Thank you so much. Escucha los sonidos de la selva y el llamado del pescado. Escucha de mis tambores. Celebrando tu despertar y tu libertad. Oh, Machamama, Bachamama, Bachamama. Ushamaya, madre de la selva, fuente de la energía y de la vida. A ti como mi madre tierra, te ofrezco mi danza, y no para hacerte silencio, sino para darte las gracias.
hard life. It is a hard life. That's why we've all come here for a better life, hopefully. Because it's not legal, you know, like gay, lesbian, trans. It's not an open thing anyway, because we are all, you know, hiding to get a meeting and stuff. Many aren't one that. I would say they are the best group. They're supportive. They are caring. They've got your bags. They're always there. You know, when in times of need, in times of trouble, because I've been down for some time now, and I haven't been to the group for ages, and I think I had a missed call from Mo, and I know they were worried about me. So when I came, they were like, "Oh, Stacy, I was crying. You know, we're just having, you didn't call, you didn't come, and all that." So it's been more sharing and all. They are so lovely. They always, you know, have your back, check on you if you're fine, if you're okay. They'll be lovely, lovely. They are like families.
Merseycare's sexual health outreach team are proud to support IDAHoBIT, which is on the 17th of May, and we see this as a really important event in our calendar. It celebrates when the World Health Organization removed homosexuality from its list of mental health disorders back in 1990. The day highlights the discrimination and stigma faced by those who identify as LGBTQ+. This year's theme is Together, Resisting, Support and Healing, which reflect the hard times we've all had to face within the last 14 months. Our sexual health outreach team is here to offer support. You can contact us using our helpline on 0151 247 6560.
Thank you very much. All right, friends, remember at home, it's important to take care about your sexual health and regularly get tested.
Get arrested!
Tested!
Oh, you know what I was saying? Get arrested, because our next guest is from the Merseyside Police and has been a great supporter of the LGBT community, Christian Owens.
Thanks, guys. So my name's Christian Owens and I'm a detective sergeant here in Merseyside Police, and I'm part of the Force Community Engagement Unit. I'm also a gay trans man. I'm part of our LGBT plus population here in Merseyside, and it's really important for me to be open and visible about that. So my role in the Community Engagement Unit is about engaging with all of our diverse communities across Merseyside, one of which is the LGBT plus community. It means that I can go out, interact, build trust with the people who live here in Merseyside and who report crime and incidents to us, in order to really encourage people to report incidents of hate crime to us. It's important that people know that they can feel comfortable, that they can come to us, that they can tell us about what happens in their lives, and that people do feel that they're going to be fully understood. So that's my role here in Merseyside Police.
My name's Rachel and I'm one of the 5 hate crime coordinators in Merseyside Police. My job is to support victims of hate crime, including the LGBTQ plus community, which I am part of, as I identify as a gay woman. My role is to work together with partner agencies such as Liverpool City Council, the Citizens Advice Liverpool, who support victims of LGBT hate crime, to ensure that not only are victims supported, but also that they are kept up to date in terms of the progress of their investigations.
One of the important things that we do here in Merseyside as part of the Community Engagement Unit is to chair and coordinate the Transgender Community Advisory Group meeting every quarter. And what that means is that we provide a safe space for our trans and non-binary population to come to a meeting here, usually at the headquarters, where we can really provide a voice for people to have an opportunity to let us know what's happening in the LGBT plus community, It's also an opportunity for us to consult our community and to let them know what's happening and provide presentations. So for example, at the last Trans Advisory Group meeting, we provided a discussion and a presentation on hate crime and the reporting, and we really got some important feedback from our community. So I feel that it provides a really safe space for people to communicate with us and provides a platform for LGBT plus voices.
I attended the last Trans CAG group, and for me that's a really important part of my role because it allows me to liaise and contact with our partner agencies such as Mermaids or Citizens Advice Liverpool to ensure that they're aware of any hotspots or any hate crimes that are going on within the local community.
It's really important in Merseyside Police that we do understand sometimes people are reluctant in the LGBT plus community to report crime, specifically hate crime to us. So it's a priority for us to reassure our LGBT plus community and make sure that they know that we are representative of our communities. You know, I'm sat here speaking to you today and I am a gay trans man as well as being a police officer, so I understand what it's like to be the victim of hate crime, and I understand sometimes the reluctance and the resistance to report that yourself. So it's about us building trust with our communities and providing safe ways and the most appropriate ways that people can report that hate crime to us. And an example of this could be the social media desk that we have. So we provide a 24-hour social media dedicated desk. So if, for example, as a trans person or a non-binary person, you were worried about picking the phone up and speaking to somebody through fear of being misgendered, this could be an alternative option for you, where you could report hate crime via Twitter or Facebook, and it's all done completely privately. So these are the alternative methods that we want to talk about to reassure and encourage reports of hate crime from the LGBT plus community.
I'd like to reiterate what Christian said. Our LGBTQ plus community are supported when they report hate crimes to police. We've got a really positive framework in place at the moment, and it's called the Liverpool Hate Crime Joint Association Group. It's a place where all our partner agencies such as Liverpool City Council, Citizens Advice Liverpool, Safer Stronger Communities, we've got house associations. It's where we come together to discuss our most vulnerable and high risk victims of hate crime, because we understand that, you know, the police we take responsibility for the investigative side, but at the same time we need to ensure that, you know, victims of LGBT hate crime are supported emotionally. We need to ensure that, you know, they're safe in their community. We need to ensure that they feel safe when they're going to and from work. So we've got a really positive framework that we've put in place whereby we seek advice and take on board suggestions from our partner agencies.
In order to encourage hate crime reporting from our LGBT plus community, it's really important for us at Merseyside Police to ensure that our staff and officers are fully educated about how to interact positively with the LGBT plus community. So we provide awareness and training and education across all roles within Merseyside Police, and something that I do myself is provide trans awareness and education to every new police officer that joins Merseyside Police, and also call handlers, so the people that are actually taking the calls from our LGBT community, the first person that you speak to when you do report it, they've now received trans awareness education so that they can interact appropriately and positively and make sure that they get all the relevant information, which means we can investigate the crime fully. But as well as educating our staff and officers, we also make sure that we educate and inform fully members of our community about what is a hate crime. Too often I think people don't fully understand what a hate crime is and what a hate incident is. So we make sure that we educate our communities, including all of our schools across Merseyside, ensuring that they know what the crime is, what it means, and how to report it.
So there are lots of different ways that you can report a hate crime, and you haven't got to be a victim of a hate crime to report it. You can be a witness, and that's part of the education that we're trying to raise around LGBTQ plus hate crimes. The most common way to report a hate crime is 999 or 101. But as Christian said before, you can report it to our social media desk, which is through Facebook or Twitter. Alternatively, if you're a bit anxious or a bit wary about, speaking to the police, you can also report it anonymously to Stop Hate UK. They're a 24/7 charity whereby you can speak to someone on the phone, text or email, and you can also report it to Crime Stoppers.
Okay, we hope that you found that really informative and useful, and it's back over to you guys.
Sahir House are lucky to receive statutory funding to cover most of the core and staffing costs. However, there are a range of activities that can only happen with the help of donations and other charitable funding. If you are able to, you can make a donation via the link below. Thank you.
Alright, my friends, just remember that every penny counts.
I've got the pleasure now to introduce our next guest with the angel voice. She's a lovely girl. I've known her for 3 or 4 years when she came to Liverpool. She's a fantastic girl and she's really done well. She's progressed and she's blossomed in Liverpool. And I actually interviewed her for the mic drop.
Right, so shall we go to her house?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll teleport in with magic, so check this out.
Hi everyone, and my name is Ariane, and this is my first song. Hope you enjoy. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can find a fighter, but I've seen you, so we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We can walk it out and move mountains. And I rise like the day. I rise up in spite of the hate. I rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I rise up high like the waves. I rise up in spite of the hate. I rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. When the silence is in quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know it feels like dying, but I promise we'll take it back to its feet and move mountains, bring it to its feet, move mountains. And I rise like the day. I rise up, I rise unafraid. I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, I rise up in spite of the hate. I will rise up 1,000 times, yeah. And I rise up high like the waves. I rise up in spite of the rain. We rise up and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. Thank you. Okay guys, last song. Hope you like it. There goes my heart beating, 'cause you are the reason I'm losing my sleep. Please come back now. There goes my mind racing, 'cause you are the reason I'm still breathing. I'm hopeless now. I'll climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason. There goes my hands shaking, and you are the reason my heart keeps bleeding. I need you now. If I could turn back the clock, I'll make sure the light defeated the dark. I'll sleep every hour of every day, keeping you safe. I'll climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason. And you are the reason. I need you to hold me tonight. Climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. 'Cause I need you to see that you are the reason. Thank you. Bye everyone. Thank you for listening. Bye bye. I'm done.
Yes.
How was it? How was it? Hey.
Great.
What is next?
Right. So we got a really very special guest from the Liverpool City Council. His name is Philip Clark and he works in All Liverpool, which is an amazing program that put together a lot of charities from Liverpool to help asylum seekers and refugees. So it's important as a Liverpool we send this message that we are an open community to everyone. So shall we go to him?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Phil Clark and I'm from the Our Liverpool team in Liverpool City Council. So Our Liverpool is the city's strategy to make Liverpool a welcoming city. It's really important for us that the city is a place that when people come to settle here, they feel welcomed, they're able to access information, they're able to know their rights, their responsibilities, what they're entitled to, and also that they're able to connect with the communities that they live in. They're able to say, you know, connect with their neighbours, connect with their local community organisations, get advice and support if they need it. You know, a lot of what we're about is very much pushing the message that Liverpool is a place that you can come and seek sanctuary, a place that you can rebuild your life, you can, you know, have a career, study, all those kind of things. What's important for us is that that's done together. Our Liverpool is very much about bringing people together. It's about organisations, you know, in the city working together, not just the council but also community organisations, advice organisations, you know, lots of different kind of organisations that support people in the city. Our Liverpool has a kind of strategy, so it's a document that is used to kind of inform where we're going, and part of that document has different elements to it. So we want to look at all the different areas of people's lives that are affected or that we can make change in. So for example, there's a group that's part of the Our Liverpool strategy, which is the needs of people seeking asylum. So that's a group that I co-chair with Milena from the Red Cross. But then there's also an employment group, there's a group called Move On for people who've just got their refugee status, there's a health and well-being group, there's a communities group, there's an education, language, and also one for people who don't have access to any public funds, NRPF that's called. So it's obviously, you know, someone who comes here, there's a lot of different parts of their life. We're all human beings, we all have complicated lives, and I think it's important that Our Liverpool looks at all those different aspects. There is an action plan that each group has, so it's not just about talking about things, it's about actually doing things. So for example, the group that I focus on, needs of people seeking asylum, that has very much a focus at the moment on making sure that people have information as they're going through the asylum process, so they don't get into problems. For example, if they're given a letter to say they've been refused on their case or granted, you know, what do they do? How do you know what to do? Those kind of things are really important to us at the moment, and also things around looking at how we can create better links with legal professionals to make the city work better for people who need access to legal advice. So they're the kind of actions that our group are taking, and all the other different groups have various different actions as well. And you know, part of the Our Liverpool strategy as well is that it's not just about us saying, okay, yeah, we think this is the problem and we think this is how we're going to solve it. It's really about getting people's lived experience. It's about speaking to people who are going through the asylum process or have been through it or have migrated to the city, and what their experiences are and how they can, you know, ultimately you're the experts and you can provide advice to us about what works and what doesn't work, and those kind of things. So that kind of lived experience is really important. So in various different ways we try and bring those voices into what we do and make sure that's integral, not just in Our Liverpool but also in terms of what the council does as a whole. And you know, we want that to be across the city. We want people's voices to be heard across the city in various different ways, and that's what Our Liverpool's all about. Not only do we have the kind of strategy, the document and subgroups as they're called, but we also have actual delivery projects. So I'm fortunate enough to work with two fantastic colleagues, Ellen and Janine, in the Our Liverpool community development team. So we try and do, you know, we're quite, we do a lot really. We work across the different teams and departments, but ultimately what we're about is, you know, for me, I often say, if you're trying to think of something that we get involved in, and whether it's something that we will get involved in. It's if something is going to make life better for someone who comes and settles here, then that's probably something that we should be doing. Not to say we are magicians and can do everything kind of thing, but we really try our best to either do it ourselves or link in with people who can, because I think that's what's fantastic about Liverpool, is there's just so many brilliant organisations. I mean, if you don't know anyone, it seems like maybe you're a little bit disconnected and you're a little bit lost and maybe there isn't any help, but then as soon as you begin to get connected, you realise how many fantastic organisations there are, whether they be organisations from certain communities or, you know, certain areas of work and certain types of advice. There's just so much out there, and I think that's what's we're really keen to get everyone working together so that we can sort of as a collective work to support people. You know, and that's a big thing. What we're about partnership, we're about everyone working together, and we're just fortunate that as a team we can sort of stand on the shoulders of giants in a sense, and that's the great organisations that we already have in the city, and facilitate them to do the fantastic work that they do. I suppose I wanted to speak a little bit about the Refugee Convention. You know, at the heart of what we do as a team is that we want to make sure that Liverpool is a place where someone can seek sanctuary. And it might be seeking sanctuary, but it's also that rebuild your life. It's come here and actually thrive and live and you know, feel a citizen of this city from the first day, and we're just so passionate about that. And I think you can't disconnect that from the Refugee Convention. You know, the Refugee Convention sets out you know, the stall in the sense of, you know, you are entitled to be protected if you've been persecuted, you know, and it sets out the type of kind of persecution that you may face, but also ultimately what it's about, you know, you being protected for who you are and for what you think. And I think you know, for us, we're very passionate about anyone in this city having the opportunity to be who they are and to think what they think and to be part of the community. Unfortunately, you know, in other parts of the world and also in Liverpool as well, we have to be honest that people have been victims of prejudice because of who they are. And, you know, there's been a lot of hard work done by organisations and also by people, you know, a lot of fighting, a lot of grafting, a lot of hard work to try and improve the situation, but we also have to be honest that there's a long way to go. And I think we want to be part of making sure that we can facilitate an environment where people, you know, can continue to take those steps on that road to making sure that Liverpool is a safe space for people who were born here, a safe space for people who come and settle here, and we can collectively work together to make sure that, you know, no matter who you are and what you think, and you know, you can live your life and do amazing things, but also just, you know, the mundanity. You know, you might just, everyone sometimes just wants a mundane life, and that's fantastic just as much as having to achieve some of the fantastic things that people who come and settle here and people in the city achieve. And also, it's about being able to, you know, have your human rights, you know, your human rights to be a human being who's able to make your own decisions, who's able to feel that you can get a job, you can get education, you can build a family in the way that you want to see that happen, you can fall in love, you know, all those things, friends, neighbours, those kind of things that are people that are your human rights to do if you want, is really what we're quite passionate about in this city, and we're certainly passionate about in the Liverpool team, and we just really want to spread that message. And to be honest, it can sound quite romantic, you know, you know, and what's wrong with a bit of romance? But I think also what's important for us is that kind of romantic idea is backed up by real kind of work and you know, real kind of putting resources in the places that they're needed, making sure that, for example, if people are suffering from hate crime, they are protected, and that the resources are there to protect them, and that people are linked into communities and are linked into knowing how you can get help. Or even if people are just disconnected from information, people not knowing where to go, not knowing who to speak to, not knowing how to have difficult conversations, but also just, you know, social conversations, people being able to feel like they're respected enough to have, to be connected and are not kind of just thrown to be ignored, I think is really important to us, and that's where the kind of practical stuff we do is really important. So for example, we've got a Facebook group called Our Liverpool. You know, anyone's welcome to join, and we try and share information on the Facebook group. We try and get people to ask questions if they want, post updates, all those kind of things. And really for us, it's a community of people who are connected into each other, both people, you know, who just come to settle in Liverpool or have come to seek sanctuary, or organisations who are there as well, and we can all sort of have that practical communication together. And there's a lot of other things that we do in terms of trying to identify issues. So for example, you know, it might be around COVID, you know, there's maybe problems in a neighbourhood, and we try and think, okay, you know, people are missing out on information here, and how can we get them connected? So for example, we've done some things where we've got some videos of people to say things in different languages, and to, you know, get those videos around and get them sort of circulated in a way that people connect with. So whether it be on WhatsApp or whether it be on Facebook or whatever. And also obviously it's great to have the opportunity to sort of be able to record messages like this, because, you know, this is a way where people can hopefully see my face and can get to sort of know who we are as Our Liverpool. And I think really important for us as Our Liverpool is that, you know, sometimes the council can seem this big thing, and I know a lot of people have come from countries where maybe you know, the council or the various different parts of the state have been persecuting them, and they've had to hide who they are, they've had to hide their human right to be who they are, and you know, obviously being scared of the kind of state, and for us it's really important to know that in Liverpool this city council is for you, and Our Liverpool is here for you, and it's very much about you knowing that you are kind of, we're here to support you. And that's not to say that things will always be perfect, and that's not to say that you won't face problems, but at least knowing that we're here, and that there are people and organisations around to try and resolve those problems for you, and to help you take hold of your own problems yourself, and you know, and sort of be valued as a person. That's just massively really important to us. So not just my face personally, but Our Liverpool and the council, we want to be the kind of the face of a welcoming environment. And to be honest, a lot of the things that we think about are just really about making sure that it's a welcoming place. That comes down to the very much headline of it all. So if you want to join in with our Facebook, as I said, Our Liverpool, but also obviously it's fantastic we can get linked in with all the organisations who have been here today, kind of thing. That'd be really useful. So yeah, thank you, and take care everyone.
The next person I'm going to introduce doesn't need any introduction, but I'm going to do it. They joined Many Hands One Heart about 4 years ago. God, time goes so fast. And they were first known to us as Adrian, and now is our own Britney.
One time, just because I had my hair blonde but short, that just for that little detail, but I was like dressed like a straight man, but just because I had the blonde hair, the police assaulted me, the police stopped me on the street, and they start to question me, why you have the blonde hair? And they start to question me, are you gay, are you gay? And I didn't answer. And they just say, so we're gonna teach you how to be a real man. And they try to beat me, and just, they basically just left me on the floor like shit, like that. Basically that's why I'm here, because LGBT people is killing my country, and no one cares about that, you know. for a society, and those people thought we deserve that because we have no rights. And if we suffer any attack or anything, people say, you want it because you shouldn't be like that. You should be like a regular man, or you should fit on what we thought. I just had one question in my life was, I will be the next one? I mean, I will be the next one to die, or what will happen to me now? Because every day on the street, people shot me insults. I remember one time, one guy, they just throw me a bag with urine, and he started to laugh because people thought we deserve that, because we are grown, and that's the punishment for not be like they want. When I came here to England, I never had that space. I mean, in my country, I have that like a safe space with my best friend, but it was like a tiny space. But here is like a safe space, but also that space, they can tell you, you know what, like you are here with us, you can be like that with the world. But the truth is, pride is that, you know, pride, I am who I am. And I don't care about you, I don't care about your talks. Of course I respect you, but this is me, I mean. And as far as I don't hurt any other one, I'm happy with that. And I will be like that till my last breath. And that's what pride means, you know.
In a precedent-setting case, Arthur Britney Joestar became the first person to be granted asylum.
Con Arthur Britney Joestar.
De 2021, c'est Arthur Britney Joestar.
Arthur Britney Joestar is the first non-binary migrant to be given asylum in the UK. We want to say
l'Amérique latine affectionne tant Arthur Britney, mais avec cette petite particularité.
Britney Joestar, quien desde el Reino Unido nos narra.
Life is a misery. Everyone must sing hello. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. When you call my name, it's like a little breath down on my knees. I wanna take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power, just like the breath. You know I take you there. I hear your voice. Let's sing this together. It's like an angel sighing. I have no choice. I hear your voice. Feels like flying. I close my eyes. Oh God, I think of falling out of the sky. I close my eyes. Heaven help me when you come on me. It's like a little breath down on my knees. I wanna take you there in the everyone must stand hard. I hear you call my name, and it feels like
Hands up!
when you call my name, it's like a little breath down on my knees. I wanna take you. Let's go together. When you call my name, it's like a little breath down on my knees. I wanna take you there. When you call my name, it's like a little breath down on my knees. I wanna take you there. In the midnight hour, I can feel your power, just like a breath. You know I'll take you there. Like a breath. Your voice can take me there. Life is a misery. Everyone must sing. Hello, I hear you call my name, and it feels like home.
Thank you for watching, everybody, and thank you to our wonderful presenters.
Really enjoyed it.
So please don't forget to donate if you can, and hope to see you again at this time next year.
Hopefully, if we are alive.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.